So, Chapter 2 is all about graphing, and so they're going to start out with graphing lines and different ways we might see a line. First of all, if I look at what they call slope-intercept form of a line, it looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope of the line. The b is your y-intercept. So the slope, how slanted your line is, your y-intercept, where does it touch the y-axis? These first ones, you're just going to have ones with the slope so you can see what the slope does to your line. So if I have y equals 3x, what we're basically just doing is making a table, and we're going to put numbers in for x so that we can plot some points on our graph. So we are just going to pick numbers. Usually I pick nice easy ones like 0, 1, and 2. If you want to put some negative ones in there, you can. But just some easy numbers to work with. So when I plug those numbers in, the first one I'm going to take 3 times 0. Well, 3 times 0, just going to give me 0. Then I'm going to do 3 times 1. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. And then I'm going to do 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm then going to plot those 3 points. So 0, 0 should be right in the middle. When I plot the point 1, 3, I'm going 1 in the x direction, so 1 to the right, and 3 in the y direction, so 3 up. So 1 over and 3 up, there's my next dot. And then I'm going to go 2 over and 6 up. When I connect those dots from left to right, on Alex it's going to make you do the ruler so the line's nice and straight. You can see that your line goes uphill because my slope is positive. So my slope is 3 because I ended up going up 3 and over 1. We'll talk about slope later on. But you can tell when you look at that number in front of the x, if it's positive, when you connect your dots, you should be going up from left to right. The second one, we have one that has a negative slope. Y equals negative 5x. So again, we're just going to pick some numbers to put in for x. You want to pick 0, 1, and 2, or do we want to use something else? 0, 1, and 2 sounds good. Those are nice, easy numbers to use. So, if I take negative 5 times 0, I would get 0. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. And negative 5 times 2, negative 10, right? So 0, 0 again's right in the middle. 1, negative 5, I'm going to go 1 to the right and down 5. 2, negative 10 would be 2 to the right and down 10. I can't quite fit that one on my graph. Now technically you really only need 2 points to draw your line. If you wanted to, you could then go backwards and put a negative 1 in there instead to get another point. Negative 5 times negative 1 would be positive 5. So negative 1 up 5. Now I have a third dot just to make sure everything lines up. But you can draw it with just 2 dots. They suggest you do 3 just so you make sure everything lines up nice and straight. And you can connect your dots and draw your line. This one had that negative slope. So as I connected my dots from left to right, I went downhill. And anytime you have a negative slope, your line should go down as you go from left to right. Sometimes you will have ones with fractions, like on number 3. So when I'm making my table, I want to be more careful at what values I pick to put in there. I'm going to use 0 because 0 is easy to use. But then what I want to do is use multiples of my denominator because that way I can eliminate the fraction. So my denominator is 3. I would want to use values like 3 and 6 because then they'll come out to nice whole number answers and I won't have fractions that I have to worry about. So starting out with 2/3 times 0. 2/3 times 0 is going to be 0 because we know anything times 0 is 0. If I take 2/3 times 3, the 3's are going to cancel out. I'm just going to get my 2. And if I take 2/3 times 6, 3 goes into 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So 2/3 times 6 gives me an answer of 4. I got nice whole number answers, and then it makes it easier to plot my points. So 0, 0 again is right in the middle. 3, 2, I go over 3 and up 2. 6, 4, I go over 6 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. This one again had a positive slope, so when I connect my dots from left to right, I should be going uphill. I am, and my dots all line up in a nice straight line. So once you do the ones